But our report focused on Lennon as seen by the women he had married. His first wife, Cynthia, and his second wife, Yoko Ono.
And he's no saint, never was.
Cynthia Lennon was John Lennon's first wife. They were married in 1962.
What is it it's his music? It's his persona?
It's everything about the man that... It's his vulnerability, it's his cheek, it's the fact that he bared his soul. Foolishly, stupidly, but he bared his soul for everybody else to see. I think we both changed. It was natural that we both changed. But I did not want to go down the road that John was going.
Which road?
Which was the road of enlightenment as far as drugs were concerned. John was in a more trapped situation than I was.
Trapped?
Trapped in his own mind and in the Beatles situation and the pressure of the music and the pop world. And I think he'd had enough, so he wanted to escape that. I had nothing to escape. I wasn't looking for anything else. I wasn't searching in my mind for new experiences on a mental state.
And he was?
Yes.
And LSD was his road to self-discovery.
That was the beginning. He was always searching, John, always looking for the truth, an ideal, a dream. And I suppose once he'd got hooked on that situation and the mental state, he thought he'd found something new in life that nobody else had.
Was it very destructive of your marriage?
Well, yes, I think any drugs are destructive of anything and everyone. But the reality of life was slipping by from John. He wasn't aware anymore. He became less interested in the original dream of becoming famous and becoming wealthy, and that didn't matter to him anymore. He had that. He had it all.
Was he writing music at this time?
No. It was a period of great change in John's life. He didn't know which direction he was going to take. But the direction was chosen for him anyway.
By?
Well, by the meeting with Yoko, and that was it. That was the first contact. And then it was, we had a few letters from Yoko asking for help with her cause and her art. And then it just...
And you were not suspicious?
It's very hard to be suspicious under those circumstances. John was surrounded at that time by very weird people.
So she was just another nutty person?
Well, at the time, yes.
And then came the time when she threw herself into the back seat of the limousine in between the two of you or whatever?
Well, that was an occasion, something to do with the Maharishi. We went to a meeting, and Yoko happened to be there at the meeting. And she asked for a lift to wherever she was living, and she got in the car, and I said to John, why? He said, I don't know. And that was it.
She was determined.
Well, only Yoko can say that, not me. It happened. These things happen in life. I knew at the time there was nothing I could do to stop what was happening. He was hell-bent on something. And it happened to end up as being hell-bent on Yoko.
What attracted you to John, John to you?
Well, it's very difficult. You can write a book about that. But, and then again, probably you can't, because it's the kind of magic that you can't express in words, maybe. But we didn't know that it was going to be like this.
You sent him letters, you sent him flowers, and finally you even put yourself into the limousine in between him and Cynthia.
Well, that's not how it happened.
What was her appeal? What was it that he found in her that was so compelling? She seemed to cast a kind of spell.
What he was looking for was a woman and a man combined. Someone he could call a pal, someone who was a woman, someone who encompassed everything in his life. He wanted to thin down his life with one person that he could trust in and believe in.
It's a bed-in, folks.
Is there not a more positive way of demonstrating in favor of peace than sitting in bed eating three square meals a day?
Now, it's a different age, you know, and it's gimmicks and salesmanship. And if that's what will put it across, that's the way to do it. Whether you You're protesting against the conditions you live in, or the conditions you work in, or the conditions of the whole world.
The press cast a skeptical eye at these two limousine liberals. The New York Times reporter Gloria Emerson confronted John about his motive.
What kind of a protest did you make? You said I don't know much about Nigeria.
An advertising campaign for peace. Can you understand that?
No, I can't.
A very big advertising campaign for peace.
And self-aggrandizing.
Well, you think
are you advertising
Oh,
John Lennon or
do you want nice middle-class gestures for peace?
Maybe.
And intellectual
It's worked in
manifestos
America.
written by a lot of half-witted intellectuals, and nobody reads them? That's the trouble with the peace movement.
I'm someone who admired you very much.
Well, I'm sorry you
know,
liked the old mop tops, dear, and you thought it was very satirical and witty, and you liked Hard Day's Night Love, but I've grown up, but you obviously haven't.
Have you?
Yes, folks.
We could communicate to the people about the importance of world peace, give peace a chance.
When you saw the two of them doing their bed-ins for peace in Amsterdam or in Canada, what'd you think?
I was sad. I was truly sad. Because I saw a man that I knew in the early days. I had seen a boy change into a man and had suddenly become the laughingstock. Seeing this man who wasn't John anymore doing the wildest things, but then again it was in the name of peace, so everybody sort of tried to understand.
This is another peace protest, by the way.
Why the bag?
Because we believe it's total.
The press had an equally hard time understanding what John and Yoko were up to, and they singled out Yoko for the harshest criticism.
But I mean, the British press actually called Yoko ugly in the papers, and I've never seen that about any woman or man.
We went through some very hard times because the press was not very kind to us, especially to me. And I think they were...
Why? Why were they so angry at you? Because they were not kind to you.
Oh, I know. Well, ask them. I mean, I don't know why they weren't kind to me.
You were an intruder.
Well...
That was the perception, I think.
Probably. I mean, I didn't really think that I was such an intruder.
But the Beatles' record producer and other members of the band found her presence irritating as she sat in on their studio sessions.
To me, it was nothing. I mean, for me to be sitting there. In fact, I think that there were moments that I felt that I was repressing my creative instincts, and by just sitting there.
Really?
But that's something that I felt that we were doing it because we loved each other. I know he was always searching, and we were always searching. We went through macrobiotic, we went to vegetarian, and we went into all sorts, actually. Primal therapy.
In the search for what? And what did you find?
In search for the truth and health and
Health through LSD? Health through drugs?
well, health.
Vegetarianism I can understand.
Wait a minute. I mean, health could be mental health as well. I mean, wanted to find the true wisdom of life.
John admitted he had a problem with violence. He said, I was a hitter, I couldn't express myself, and I fought men, and I hit women. That is why I am always on about peace. You see, it's the most violent people who go for love and peace. Was he a hitter when you lived with him?
No, he wasn't.
Never hit you?
No.
I sense that you wanted space for yourself. That you had become Mrs. John Lennon instead of Yoko Ono. That you were really an appendage of Lennon and the legend and the Beatles and so forth, and you were simply tired of it and wanted to be by yourself.
I felt that the world was criticizing me for being so possessive that I would not let him go out of the room or something. I mean, there was that feeling that the world was criticizing me, and I really had to go through a soul searching and wondered if that was true or not.
John left for Los Angeles, and the next 14 months deteriorated for John into an endless round of public drunkenness and partying. He desperately missed Yoko.
I needed somebody to love me, and there was nobody there to support me, and I fell apart.
And John gave up music to take care of his son. Sean takes issue with the Albert Goldman biography, The Lives of John Lennon, which depicts his father during this time as an anorexic drug addict and a recluse who left the raising of Sean to servants.
He spent a lot of time with me. He would take me places.
Sean Lennon is 12 now, and though he was only 5 when his dad was killed, he remembers those early days with his father.
He spent so much time with me, not just at home, but everywhere, you know.
What you're saying is that he was a very loving and attentive father.
Yeah. I think he did a lot of fathering in the 5 years that I knew him.
People who write books like this it is for greed. As far as I'm concerned, they're grave diggers. No more, no less. And
Grave robbers.
grave robbers, body snatchers, you name it, they are it.
He seems to have it in for you.
But you know, on another level, it's like Monty Python. I mean, it's so far away from what John and I were. So when I think about it, it shouldn't affect us at all. I mean, it shouldn't affect us. But of course, we're human, so it's hurting.
All I know, and all the people that love John know, that we had our years, that nobody, no film, no book will ever complete what went on in our lives. That's our part of our hearts that has to stay with us. It must not be public.
You love John still.
I love John. I've always loved John because he was my first love. But I mean, I've loved him in different ways. I love his memory. I loved what he did. I understood his madness, his phases. I just feel that I understood.
I was visualizing all the people of my age group. I'm singing to them. I'm saying, here I am now. How are you? How's your relationship going? Did you get through it all? Wasn't the 70s a drag, you know? Here we are. Well, let's try and make the 80s good, you know?
There was love in him. He had love for everything. It was almost hurting him that he had so much love. He loved all the places that he went to. He would want to buy a house in every place that we've been. He loved all the cities. He loved all the countries. He loved rooms, clothes, people, everything. He loved.
By way of an update, Cynthia Lennon is now running a restaurant called Lennon's in London. Yoko Ono has had a couple of art shows, but mostly she's had a low public profile lately. Sean Lennon is in school in Switzerland. The controversial Albert Goldman book about John Lennon is long off the bestseller lists. The film Imagine did not do as well at the box office as its producers had hoped. And the music of the Beatles survives and prospers and continues to delight.